So we're starting to look at this idea of target markets. Here, best place to start is with a definition, right? A target market is a relatively similar group of consumers who are likely to react in a similar way to the business's marketing mix. Marketing mix we talk about are the P's, right? So price, we talked about that. If you're making cheap burgers, who does that appeal to? Place, where can you get the service or goods? What is the actual product, the third P? How is it promoted? And you might also talk about things like P for people and P for like the physical evidence. So how is the service packaged, for example? Right, so jotting this down, a target market is a relative homogeneous, similar group of consumers who are likely to react in a similar way to the business's marketing mix. And you want to be able to identify your target market. Now, here comes some, gentlemen, here comes some more terms that you can use in what you're talking about. So the first of these is undifferentiated markets, and that's where you're just having a broad approach to consumers. So Gold Lotto, basically everyone over 18 is who they're trying to target there. McDonald's, I think you could say, has a very broad approach to who they're advertising towards. So there are a couple of groups, a couple of ways. It's the first of the two strategies, undifferentiated marketing. So yeah, niche marketing it is. Right. So niche market is a very small market that has closely defined group of consumers. So an example of a niche market might be if you're to open a vegetarian restaurant, for example. You're dealing with a fairly small group of customers, maybe for a very specific interest. So in Brisbane, you'd talk about playing polo as being a pretty specific, not water polo, but the polo with the horses, a pretty specific sort of group, a very much a niche market. So that would be an example there of a niche market. Now, when we talk about the different market dimensions that we've got, right, there are three different things that we talk about. Demographics, which describe things like age and income. Geographics, so that's where people live, right? We might target consumers in Brisbane or North Lake or Australia. And behavioural. Behavioural deals with the interests that people have. So a behavioural might be that you're interested in people who are interested in playing soccer, for example. You might be targeting that group. Or it might be people who think of themselves as liking to consume prestige products, another behavioural dimension. So they're the three elements that you can talk about when you discuss this in your marketing plan. Right? So you want to put these market dimensions in, and who are your target markets? Describe it using those. So if we quickly sneak through this, some examples of demographics, don't jot them all down, just grab a few. Age, gender, ethnicity, family size, income, religion, occupation. They're all different ones that you can use to describe the idea of demographics. And you won't use them all, but you'll certainly use some of those. We moved from demographics, the next one was behavioural. So you might be looking at different types of shoppers, right? Shoppers who are impulse shoppers. You might be looking at shoppers who buy online. Might be interests. Okay, talked about football as being an interest. They might have an interest in cooking. Hobbies are a great one. Or social position. Right? So you might see people who see themselves as being higher up the social pecking order. So there's some behavioural ones. And geographic, I haven't put geographic in there, but that's kind of fairly obvious. You're talking about where you're looking to target consumers from. Okay, now this I think is a very useful a very useful graph that's just come, a diagram that's come from the textbook. Right. It will be. It will be. Right. So, I think this is a really good 6-step process, and I'm recording this too, so this will be up on Sector as well. No, that's okay. No, that's fine. This is a really good 6-step process. Right. So, the first thing you got to do is identify. So, step 1. Yeah, actually, you can see where the little mouse is. Step 1, identify how you're going to segment the market. So, you might decide you're going to segment on geography, North Lakes area, age, consumers from the age of 18 to 25, income, people earning less than $40,000 a year, and interests, it might be people who like to dine out. So you've got this offering for that group of people. Right. And then you've got to just develop the profile. How many people in North Lakes fit that description, do you think? Right. Is there enough to sustain a business? Right. And then you look at how attractive are the different market segments, because you'll do more than one segment, and you might choose 2 or 3. And then select who you're going to target and develop your advertising position. That would be a great little figure to use in talking about the target market segment that you chose. Okay, I think quite a powerful one. That's straight from that figure 7.1 from the textbook. And I think we might leave it there for now. I think that gives you enough stuff in the next 25 minutes or so to go through and do some work from there.